Hi folks, Will at LR Workshop. So this might be a problem at the MOT. Left-hand drive vehicles, or basically Defenders, have the fog light on the driver's side as standard. In the UK there's 3 requirements you need to be able to drive a vehicle in the UK. If you import it, that might typically be a left-hand drive vehicle. You need a speedometer that reads in miles an hour, headlights that dip to the correct side, i.e. away from, or into the hedge basically. You also need a fog light that's on the offside. Rest of the world spec left-hand drive 300 TDIs in the UK, in their early MOT histories, do have failures for the fog light being on the wrong side. And mine's never been done, and it's never had a failure on it. However, this is a new garage, and they were quite strict last year with emissions, and I'd never failed on emissions before on my other Defender, so I'm assuming they may be quite hot on something like this. So I'm going to have to rectify it. What's interesting, though, is how it can be done. One solution is you put another fog light on there and take a feed off, and you've still got the fog light here and you've just got another one over there. You can have more than one fog light, but you at least need one on the right hand side. Most of the time they get switched with the reverse light, and funnily enough the chassis wiring looms are the same for left hand drive and right hand drive, but the lights are on different sides. How does that work? Let's go and have a look. This is a 99 to 2001 chassis loom. So here's the right hand side where the trailer socket goes, right hand wheel arch, and then this is the left hand wheel arch. And you'll see here that we've got green brown for reverse light and red yellow for fog light, and we've got 2 connectors there, and we've got 2 connectors here. So basically on the production line you would choose which one you're going to plug the fog light in. If it was right hand drive, you'd plug it into here, and if it was left hand drive, you'd plug it into here. Now there's naturally a problem or a risk there that you might get the fog light on the wrong side, but you might plug it into the wrong connector. And you're also paying for 2 redundant connectors. And connectors, compared to wiring, connectors are a bit more expensive. These looms also would have a fly lead from here, because in this era bulkhead, everything, so this is the indicator, this is the chassis loom, everything then comes up through the wheel arch into the tub, connects onto these with a fly lead, and then goes back down into the lower area where the fog light and the reverse are, and same on the other side. So let's see what changed in 2002. This is a 2002-2006 wiring loom, and we'll see here's the right hand wheel arch on here, and then here's the left hand wheel arch. And what we'll notice is that we just have 2 blue plugs, and one has white and the other one has slate. They don't have the green, brown, and the red, yellow that you would expect. However, we look at the trailer socket, we do have a red and yellow on this side. We do have a red and yellow, and we do have a green and brown. So why aren't these green and brown? And actually, how does that work? Because we've only got 2. So we're going to be plugging this one into here, but then we may plug it into the other side. So how does this loom know which light is which? Well, if we look at the wiring diagram, it all comes down to the bulkhead wiring loom. I've got 2 wiring looms here. This is a right-hand drive bulkhead wiring loom. This is a left-hand drive 2002 to 2006. And these are the connectors to go into the chassis harness. If we look at the right-hand drive, we'll see that there's pins 1, 2, 3 across the top, 4, 5, 6, 7 along the middle, and then 8 and 9 here. And on this, 8 is green-brown, 9 is green-brown, 7 is red-yellow, and there's another red-yellow over here on pin 3. When we look at the left-hand drive wiring loom, which way around does it go? That way around. We'll see that pin 7 is green-brown, pin 8 is red-yellow, pin 9 is green-brown. So that green-brown here on pin 9, which is the same on both, that feeds the trailer socket, same as the red-yellow on pin 3. But then it's switched around on pins 7 and 8. And that's basically how they control what the wire does at the end of the chassis loom for the connectors. So if we look at the connector where the chassis loom connects to the bulkhead loom, we've got a red and a yellow. We've also got the slate. And we've also got the white wire. And we've also got the green-brown, which is that one there. So one option we have is to rewire the left-hand drive plug on my Defender to be like the right-hand drive plug, which is basically swapping pins, connections 7 and 8. I don't really like that. I mean, it's kind of clean, but what you're basically doing is you're whatever happens to this Defender in the future, you're basically converting a left-hand drive wiring loom into a kind of right-hand drive and mostly left-hand drive wiring loom, which is really buggering about with the wiring, and you never know what's going to happen in the future, and it would be almost impossible to debug that. Plus these connectors are right down behind the engine, tucked down there in the bulkhead. They're really fiddly to get to. So what I've chosen to do is to create a fly lead, basically to swap the connections just across the back of the chassis loom. So in my current loom, it's something like this, the one that's on the vehicle, where this would be the fog light over here. So the white cable is the fog light, and then the slate grey cable is the reverse light. So the link loom basically is the same wiring colours, and I've just got a male and a female of the Econosil, the two-way Econosil connectors, and these are the 070 pins. So I have here, I have the slate grey, that is grey, yeah, with a male. I'll plug that into there. That then goes off all the way across over to here, and then that female with the grey, that will be the new reverse light. And then do the same with the fog light, the female into the fog light here. So I've basically switched sides just by using a link lead. We've got an earth here, and we just need an earth here, and it's the same earth that's on the other side. There's no point sending 2 extra earth wires across. So I've teed off, or not teed off rather, there's just a small lead goes from here to here for the earth, and then it brings the slate one off, and then the white one comes back. So that's probably the simplest way it could be done. It also means that it's completely obvious what's going on, and it's fully reversible, and I quite like that. Yeah, that one's slate. Now I need to get a cable basically from down over there across, and I'd prefer it to be across the top of the fuel tank. That's a bit fiddly getting it in through this way. You can see daylight, but it's really, really fiddly. So the best way I've found is thread it through here, down the bottom of the fuel tank guard, and then you can basically post the other ends up over the top. Reach around the side. And then poke that one through. Super. Right, quick test. Reverse lights on. Let's do the fog light. There is the final wiring. So I'm just going to get this up because I don't want any tension really on this new one. I'm just going to get this pulled up and then cable tie it onto the existing loom or wherever it fits, wherever it's comfortable. So there we go. Simple, maintainable, obvious and completely reversible back to factory standard, just the way I like it. All in, cost about 20 quid. And yeah, hopefully going to pass an MOT. Thanks for watching. Bye for now.